I'm here outside of Palmerston Library where a trans rally is taking place. A couple hundred protesters gathered here today, members of the trans community as well as trans allies. Take a look here around me. There was chanting going on earlier, but people are out holding signs that read things like "No hate in our city." And the reason these protesters are so upset is because of what's happening inside the library. Controversial author Meghan Murphy is holding an event here tonight.
She works to spread misinformation and hate towards trans women, a marginalized group of society, and that, is not acceptable in a public institution like the Toronto Public Library.
Trans rights are human rights! Trans rights are human rights!
Hundreds stand side by side, outraged with Toronto Public Library's decision to let Meghan Murphy, a self-described feminist known for her opposition to transgender acceptance in society, deliver a talk. It's titled "Gender Identity: What Does It Mean for Society, the Law, and Women?" The event, held at Palmerston Library, sold out.
I think they shouldn't have allowed the talk to happen. I recognize that they are operating under the pretense of freedom of speech, which is incredibly important. But when freedom of speech is used as an excuse to trample on other people's securities and safeties in a space like a public library, I don't think that should stand.
An online petition to cancel the event gathered over 8,000 signatures to date. Several local authors are also pulling out of events and book launches at the library, and library staff have even voiced their concerns, saying it undermines trust and partnerships they've built over the years. We reached out to Toronto Public Library for comment, and they released this statement. In part, "We are concerned with offering a safe and welcoming environment for everyone, including members of the trans community. We are aware that the upcoming room rental event has caused anger and concern among members of the trans community and others. As a public library and public institution, we have an obligation to protect free speech."
We are valuable members of Toronto!
As this is a public library, it's our space, my tax dollars, your tax dollars pay for that. And she's running counter to our Ontario Human Rights Code. She's running counter to the Canadian Human Rights Code. She doesn't think trans women are women. She's effacing and making invisible, denying the existence of a whole group of people who are protected in our human rights codes. That's not freedom of speech, that's hate speech.
The majority stood united, but one presence in particular caused quite a bit of tension.
Trans women are women and trash is trash!
Well-known cannabis rights activist Mark Emery stood in support of Meghan Murphy.
Because she's rational, sane, and she's participating in a democracy like a citizen.
His opinion quickly got drowned out. Attendees of Murphy's event also called out, and this isn't the first time Toronto Public Library has come under fire for events held in its spaces. Back in 2017, a far-right group was allowed to hold a memorial for a deceased lawyer who had represented Holocaust deniers, despite an outcry from the public. This event going too far for City Councillor Kristen Wong-Tam, who tweeted, "Tonight, the Toronto Public Library wrongly let a known transphobic speaker use public space to attack a charter-protected group who are routinely and disproportionately targeted by hate and violence." Wong-Tam has written a motion directing the city manager and solicitor to review booking rules for all public spaces. What is your relationship going to be with the Toronto Public Library going forward?
0 to none at this point. I mean, they've made it pretty clear that they don't stand to protect 2S LGBTQ people, and as a trans person myself, it's been made pretty clear that there's no place for me here.
The Toronto Public Library further adds that they welcome everybody to protest peacefully out here, but they also welcome those who are inside who purchased tickets for tonight's event. Malia Sheikh, City News, right outside of Palmerston Library.